I had gained 25 pounds my freshman year because I was away from home for the first time and did not have to eat vegetables or fruit or any of the healthy stuff my mother made us eat when we were growing up. And I didn't want to hear anything about it, but I was kind of captive. And he traced the path of a hamburger from a cow on a factory farm through the slaughterhouse process to a fast food restaurant to a clogged artery to a heart attack. And that is the thing that really got to me and planted the seed and caused me to start looking into it myself. And that's how I started on the path.
So that you're in the college. Most
Yeah.
college age kids are not super concerned about a heart attack, right? You feel like you're, kind of above dying at any age under 20, right? Like, oh, that's so far away. I'm going to be fine. So what about that process you just described from the cow to the heart attack? What really got to you?
So this is 10 years before the internet. So he spoke for about 2.5 hours and it was very graphic, and I had never heard that process before. I had 2 vegetarian teachers in the 7th grade at Sidwell Friends School in DC, and they wanted our camping trip to be vegetarian. I wrote a petition against it. Like, I was opposed to healthy food. But I never asked them why they were vegetarian. And so he was explaining the process, right? And I ate hamburgers every day. Hamburgers, cheeseburgers, hot dogs, French fries, every single day, pizza. So he was talking to me. And I had gained 25 pounds in a year. So, I was still small, but, I was on the trajectory that he was talking about. And also what's really crucial too is that he connected it to why the food industry provides this unhealthy food for us. He talked about lobbying. He talked about subsidies. He talked about food justice, food desert. In 1986, he made all of these connections. And I was going through a paradigm shift at the time. I had taken the relaxer out of my hair. I was taking all of these classes on racism and sexism and imperialism and homophobia and all of these things that I was learning about for the first time or in new, deeper ways. And so my whole paradigm was shifting. And so I was ready to hear this message. So it was all of that for me.
Dick Gregory is an amazing person. I'm so glad that part of your history includes him so that we can, our listeners can maybe look him up and learn more about him now that he's sadly gone. But he exists still on the internet. He's written an amazing book that I read, probably more than one, right? But I know I read.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and
but in fact, there's a play about his life called "Turn Me Loose" that Joe Morton from Scandal starred in. It's now in DC. I just went to see it this weekend, and I was told by the star of it, Edwin Lee Gibson, that it's going to Broadway. So people will have an opportunity to hear or see more about him.
Good. Oh, great. So you talked a little bit about your childhood before college and that your mom was very into healthy food. My mom also was into healthy food. In fact, I think that was really good as a whole in terms of a foundation, but I did rebel and because I couldn't wait to eat Cap'n Crunch when I went away, right? And so I overdid it, and actually it led me into I'm not going to blame my mom for my eating disorder, but because this was so restricted, I think that's was a trigger for me to binge a little on food,
want everything else, right?
Yeah,
was that other kids were eating?
What was your?
Well, I mean, no, my mom was desiring and trying and wanting to feed us a healthful diet. But no, I grew up in Kentucky, and we existed on iceberg lettuce and ranch dressing and hot dogs and macaroni and cheese and corn on the cob. That wasn't too bad. Just, in the 70s, thinking that was pretty balanced, and we had most of what we needed, and it was different meats too thrown in there, but there wasn't a severe restriction. The only thing that she really didn't allow was sugar cereals, which is why that's funny that you were dying for Captain Crunch. I was dying for Fruit Loops, but we got them once a year when we went on vacation to Florida, and my sister and I would get the variety pack because you don't want to just get one, and then we'd fight the entire vacation on what was. So I don't know if that would serve the purpose. My mom was like, "Oh my gosh,
Tracye, can you relate to any of this?"
Absolutely. Absolutely. We did not have sugary cereals either. We didn't even have soda. No
we didn't
soda,
either.
no sugar bowl, no cookie jar, none of it. I mean, we were omnivores, but no sugary cereals, no junk, no candy, none of that. But I had cousins who had that food. And so when we went to visit them, oh my God, we could just gorge on sodas, on Captain Crunch, on Apple Jacks, on Fruit Loops, all of it. And I loved it. And so, I had a taste of what else was out there. But my mother was that way with us. We had total cereal, we had skim milk, we had whole wheat bread, because she, when she was pregnant with my oldest sister, who's 5 years older than me, so in 1961, she decided that she wanted to raise healthy children. And so she read Dr. Spock and others just to find out, what's healthiest to eat. And he was promoting a meat and dairy-based diet then, although he later began promoting a vegan diet. So it was health conscious as an omnivore, right? But she was also addicted to sugar, and went to OA to deal with that. It was a real struggle for about 10 years in her life. And so that's the reason that we didn't have sodas or sugary cereals or cookie jar desserts on a regular basis, because she was grappling with that, and she didn't want it in the house, and she didn't want to introduce it to us.
Yeah.
Mom.
I too struggle with sugar and went to OA too, and it helped me immensely. So
Wow. Okay.
yeah, I'm looking forward to talking to your mom one day too.
Hey folks, okay, back by very popular demand is our plant-powered plate fridge magnet, which you are going to receive for free if you leave us a rating and a review on whatever platform you're listening to this podcast on. So here are the details. Just write your quick review. Does not need to be long, does not need to be a whole story. Just be honest and speak from the heart. Then take a quick screenshot of the review you wrote and email it to us at podcast@switchforgood.org. That's podcast@switchforgood.org. And include your mailing address so we can send you a power plate. We are doing this because the more reviews we garner, the higher we go in search results, which means more folks will learn about our podcast. So the power is in your hands. Leave us a review, and zoom, your power plate arrives at your doorstep.
So thank you so much for tuning in today. If we helped you in any way, then click the subscribe button and let's keep hanging out together. We have so much more to share with you.
And if you need more information on actually making the switch for good, please visit us at switchforgood.org for loads of info. And you can subscribe to our mailing list where you will receive all sorts of super cool gifts, discount codes to our very fave dairy-free products, and a lifetime of powerful health tips.
So join us on the journey to switch for good. This is the future.